The hottest place on Earth and the driest in North America has received unprecedented amounts of rainfall. On August 5th, Death Valley National Park in California, USA, was closed due to record flooding. Here, 37 millimeters of precipitation fell in a single morning, compared to a monthly norm of only 4 millimeters. This is nearly 3/4 of an annual norm and the highest amount recorded in August since the observations began. Most of the rain fell as an epic downpour within an hour. According to CNN meteorologist Padram Jawahari, this happens on average once every 1,000 years. The mud flowing down from the surrounding mountains brought debris and uprooted trees into the valley, flooded hotels, and made local roads impassable. Dozens of cars were covered with sand and debris. About 1,000 people became hostages to the natural disaster, unable to get out of the park. South Korea, August 8, 2022. Record rains hit the nation's capital, Seoul, causing flooding in various parts of the metropolis. Unfortunately, there were casualties and missing people. According to Korea Meteorological Administration, there was 380 millimeters of precipitation. This is the highest amount ever recorded in Seoul. And in just 1 hour, the amount of precipitation reached more than half of the monthly norm. Such rapid downpours turned streets into rivers, flooding subway stations and paralyzing traffic. People had to cross streets with water up to their waist, sometimes swimming, while others were trapped in buildings or in their cars. Residents of low-lying areas were urged to evacuate to safe places.
The situation worsened due to the simultaneous release of seawater and the rainy season. Sandbags were piled up to prevent rainwater from getting in, but this proved useless.
Now they are completely locked up and cannot return home. I also saw my friends locked in the bus, and some of my friends are still locked in the student cafe, and there is no way to get out.
If the passengers had stayed inside, I don't even know if they would have died or not. So I opened the door and the young people went out, taking their children with them.
There is now an increasing trend of worsening effects caused by climate change. In some regions, people are suffering from abnormal precipitation, in others from the effects of extreme drought or other types of natural disasters. This summer, Europe has faced temperatures unprecedented in the past 2 centuries. For several weeks, the unbearable heat claimed many lives and turned blooming areas into a burning hell. The water level of most European rivers has dropped significantly, and the flora and fauna of the Mediterranean Sea are in danger because the water off the coast of Italy, Spain, and France has warmed to extremely high temperatures. The National Meteorological Service Météo-France claimed July 2022 as the second driest month on record in France. There was 84% less precipitation for the entire month compared to the average of previous years. This situation forced the authorities to impose restrictions on water consumption. In 62 departments, the highest level of danger was declared. In these departments, water was only allowed to be used in case of emergency.
The drought has become abnormal this year. We've been using new harvesting methods for 30 years now, but still, this year is the worst year we've ever had, except when 1 year out of 10 we get hail. But this year we've been crippled by a drought. We will collect only half of the harvest.
Strict restrictions on the use of water have been imposed in other countries as well. For example, in Great Britain, some countries have banned watering lawns with hoses, washing windows and cars, and filling decorative ponds and children's pools.
It's clearly a resource that we're not going to have the ability to use constantly forever. So when we have conditions like this, I think it makes sense for us to take the precautions to prevent there being a water shortage.
And in the United States, in Nevada, due to a shortage of water, parks are massively removing lawns and replacing them with artificial turf. An acute shortage of clean drinking water has already brought millions of people to the brink of survival. After all, it is of paramount importance for human life and health. And this, despite the fact that humankind has the technologies that make it possible even now to easily provide clean drinking water for all.
Water from the air. Atmospheric water generators allow you to extract up to 3,000 liters of drinking water per day, and it can be increased up to 1 million liters. Can be mobile and stationary. They can operate from any energy source and in any climate, even in the arid desert, are used for the needs of the military in some countries and well proven in emergency situations. For example, in 2010, after the Haiti earthquake, the generator produced thousands of gallons of clean water for drinking, wound washing, and surgery. Do you agree to die of thirst in the presence of such modern technology?